back at Infineon Raceway and the Thunder Valley Casino 200, ready to go back to green. Green flag is out. And another good restart for Joey Logano.
Such an advantage to be the leader on the restart, because NASCAR officials would tell you do not beat the leader to the line.
Car into the picture now. That one car, the yellow car, Jim Engelbright, has a best finish of third here in 2008. He's a good road course
He's
driver.
a great road racer. He's won on the road course in this series before, and he won 3 tour races here at this racetrack in a row.
Has 3 wins in this series, does Engelbright. As you can see, he's running third right now.
Brandon Davis hanging right with Joey Logano as they go into turn number 7.
Took a little look. He might have wanted to take a move for the lead, but so far Logano, nobody has been able to challenge him yet in this race.
Yeah, it was going to be tough to make that move on the outside in turn number 7. You may be able to outbrake somebody into turn number 7, but I don't think you can do anything on the outside in turn number 7.
Brandon Davis trying to figure out a way to get around Logano, and as we said, quite the road course racer. Sat on the pole here for this race.
David Gillen into the inside of Engelbright to try to take over the 3rd spot. Engelbright fights back now. He'll have the inside going up the hill.
What a race between these two, Engelbright and David Gilliland in that 9 car.
You know, these guys have raced a lot together out here on the West Coast.
Gilliland, a full-time competitor in this series several years ago, before really getting his chance and then opened the eyes of everybody in that nationwide race in Nashville. Oh, Kentucky, yeah.
Yeah, he just a matter of a few weeks, he jumped in a Robert Yates car and has been in the Cup Series ever since.
He'll be running the Cup race here this weekend. Well, you see him on those rumble strips, really gets that car up in the air a little bit, doesn't it?
It sure does. Here's turn number 7. See Persley now in behind Engelbright. There's Wisniewski.
Those two are teammates, Wisniewski and Persley in the 26. And so far, a strong run for Greg Persley. I would think if you're Greg Persley, anything in the top 10 today would be great.
Oh, absolutely, with a 200-point lead coming into this race. You know, I was talking to Gene Price, the car owner, and really all the guys, Jerry Pitts, the crew chief, and talking about what a season they've had. And they were, you know, they just said, hey, we finally put it together. We started out last year. We had some great runs. You see David Mayhew making a pass on the 20 of Eric Holmes. We had some great runs. We finally put some wins together into the season, but this year everything's going right.
Oh, I'll say, I don't think there's ever been as dominant a car in a season in this series, at least for the first half, as what Greg Persley has done.
Yeah, we've seen some guys dominate the series before, but I'm telling you what Greg Persley is doing right now may be unprecedented.
Good battle between Mayhew and Holmes. Two guys, I think, with a lot of ability.
That was a snapshot of our championship battle last year. Eric Holmes won that championship. David Mayhew finished 2nd.
Speaking of David Mayhew in that 17, he's got a little relationship with our buddy Phil Parsons this week.
He does. We had David practice and qualify our Cup car and did an outstanding job here. Never been in a Cup car before, but first lap on the racetrack was up to speed, and Michael McDowell will come from Elkhart Lake to run that car in the race, but we couldn't be more happy with the job that David Mayhew did.
Just shows that he does have a lot of potential, and a lot of people are starting to notice that about David Mayhew.
Brandon Davis able to hang right with Joey Logano here. Still a little bit of muscle.
Still early in the race, and we still have pit stops yet to come.
Oh, yeah, and these guys will be coming down pit road here under green here. They want to pit under green, which is so unlike what we usually see. They want to pit under green, and they would love for the caution flag to come out the next lap, because that would give them track position over everybody that didn't pit under green.
We run a total of 64 laps here. Brandon Davis, well, you see he's had a top 5 finish.
Right here at this racetrack last year.
Hoping to have a win today. Started on the pole, but it has been Joey Logano's day so far. He is the car to beat.
David Gillen now is closed in a little bit on Brandon Davis. Remember, we saw that battle with he and Jim Engelbright. Now Davis has been able to pull away from Engelbright.
I think you'd wait till after this pit stop to start getting really racy.
You got to save your stuff. You know, the question we talked about at the beginning of the show, do you change tires or not? Most of the talk in the garage area was they did not think you could overcome changing tires and losing the track, track position. Oh, we got problems with Brandon Davis.
To the Brandon Davis car, looked like he might have blown an engine. A lot of smoke coming out the rear of that car, and oh my goodness, this might be it for Brandon Davis.
Well, it sure does look terminal. You know, on a road course like this with all the shifting, there's a lot of times you can miss gears. Now, he's an experienced road racer, so that certainly isn't necessarily what happened. As you see him go through the S's, and the engine looks like it just explodes.
Fortunately, he didn't put a lot of oil down. Gilliland right behind him. Luis Martinez in. I think a lot of drivers now are going to come down pit road and try to take on fuel.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of damage to the front of his car. He ran in the back of somebody. Here comes Joey Logano, our leader, to pit road.
So we are in the pit window, and the leader, Logano, on pit road. I think we will see some others, and the big question is anybody going to take tires? You cannot take tires and fuel at the same time, so everybody now coming in to take fuel.
They want to absolutely pack that thing full of fuel. I think for all the guys that make pit stops now, as you can see, Dylan Kwasniewski, there's Eric Holmes, Brandon Davis's car still on pit road with the hood up. There's Moses Smith. This is where you get your fuel. You're in your fuel window. You get enough fuel that you know you can get to the end. But a lot of guys were really concerned. Remember at Utah, they ran so many extra laps due to green-white checkers. They said, we want to maybe have a little extra insurance of fuel.
Kwasniewski is in to get his fuel here, and as you can see, boy, they really are packing that car as full of fuel as they can get it.
There's our leader, David Gillen. Now he made his way down the pit road right as you enter turn number 11. That's where the entrance to pit road is. Pursley's going to follow him, as well as Mayhew. It leaves Engelbright as our leader.
Yeah, Jim Engelbright now posted as the leader as Gilliland comes down on pit road. We've not seen anybody yet come back around and try to get tires.
I think we're so early in the race. We're only about a third of the way through the race. I think if you're going to put tires on, you want to wait a little bit later. But again, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of that.
Yeah, tires are going to put you so far back in the field. You talked about one of your storylines being track position, and that's something you don't want to lose here.
You sure don't. And we don't know if there's enough advantage to new tires to overcome that track position.
Jim Engelbright thinks he has a car that has a chance to win today, and he's yet to get his fuel, but I'm sure it's not long before he'll head down pit road.
He may just want a little extra insurance, a few extra laps in case of a green-white checker. And again, when you talk about a green-white checker, they're going to add 2 or 3 laps, 4 laps or whatever. And at 2 miles per lap, you're talking about 6 to 8 miles each time you would have a green-white checker.
Yeah, and you're talking about using up a lot of fuel on those extra laps. Here comes Engelbright down pit road. Fuel stops taking place right now at Infineon. We'll be back in a moment. Back at Sonoma, while we were away, we had a bit of a brush fire that was caused by a spin. There they are, the firefighters trying to put that out.
The exhaust on these cars come right out underneath them, probably 2 or 3 inches from the ground on the grass like that. Hey, how about Joey Logano coming in for a pit stop?
He's going to take on tires here. He is the only car so far that we have seen take tires. Wonder how that's going to play out, because it's going to put him back in the field a bit. Well, we'll certainly see about that. Brandon Davis, our pole sitter, short day for him today. He's with Pat Patterson.
It's a short afternoon for Brandon Davis. Tough deal. First pole in this series. What happened to your race car?
Oh, we were just cruising along there, going down through the S's, and all of a sudden the motor just let go. I'm not really sure what happened at this point, but it's unfortunate. I think we had a really good car today. We were just cruising behind Joey, trying to save the tires. I mean, I could see where I could catch him, and I think we could have been good later in the race, but hey, that's racing, and I want to thank Applied Computer Solutions for having me out here in Ford, and we'll move forward, and hopefully we'll run better the next time.
One guy we've not talked about today, Paulie Haraka, now posted as the leader in the Bill McAnally car.
Yeah, and Paulie's a good road racer. He finished in a runner-up spot here last year in this race.
So when we restart, it'll be David Gilliland and Paulie Haraka up front.
Good start by Paulie. He's on the inside for turn number 1. He does get in front of Gilliland for the right-hander up here at the top of the hill, turn 2.
So Paulie Haraka, now our leader. As you said, he finished second last year. He's got 3 wins in the series.
David Gillen right now is in the 2nd spot. Joey Logano restarted this race 17th. We'll see how that will play out.
Well, you talk about track position. He's got the fresh tires, but will that enable him to get towards the front? We'll see. Boy, he's in all kinds of trouble here.
0-7. Brady Flaherty was sideways. A nice save. That's Brett Thompson, the 61 car. Here comes, is that Engelbright in there? No, that's the 48 car. He runs into the 61 of Brett Thompson. Another car off in the grass.
Yeah, Stan Silva turns around again for the second time in this race, and there's no caution.
A lot of stuff went on there in a short period of time.
Indeed it did, but again, the green stays out here. Look at Gilliland trying to make a move for the lead on Paulie Haraka. We've talked about this is the place to pass, and Gilliland on the inside makes the pass. David Gilliland now our leader.
Nice move by David Gilliland. Remember, this is Paulie Haraka's first race this season. He was a regular in the series for a couple years now, concentrating on his studies at Duke University. But Bill McAnally said, I put a deal together for Paulie to run this race because he's so good on the road courses.
They've had a tough time. They have not had a sponsor, and this week the sponsor of the race, Thunder Valley Casino, is on the side of that Paulie Haraka car.
Yeah, Paulie looking to give that sponsor a good ride here. You see Greg Persland now is settled in third spot.
I was going to mention that, Greg Persland. Boy, he can do nothing wrong here running third, and again, he has not had an easy time of it on this racetrack in the past. There's another spin. Travis Milburn gets off course.
There was some contact from the 48 car of Dave Smith.
Well, Milburn gets refired, and again we stay under green here with Gilliland the leader, Haraka running second, and Greg Persley third.
Joey Logano's moved up to the 14th spot. He was able to pass three cars on that first lap after the restart.
You know Paulie Haraka is anxious to have a great run here today. It's so hard to see the season fly by and you not be a part of it.
Yeah, here we are in June already. There's that incident we saw just a few moments ago with Brady Flaherty in the 0-7 of Brett Thompson in the 61. And there's that 48 car. There's a contact with Travis Milburn. Dave Smith, the 48, gets into Travis Milburn and turns him around.
And again, Milburn able to get that car refired. He is back out on the course, and we are still under green. And again, with the guy we're going to keep an eye on is Joey Logano and see how long it takes him to, or if he can make it up through the field. Right now, David Gilliland showing the way. Paulie Haraka second. And look at Engelbright. He's running fourth. Dylan Kwasniewski in the 5th position.
Caught a glimpse of Logano going into turn number 11, making another pass. He's gained 8 spots now in 2 laps. He's up into the top 10, Mike.
But you still have to be careful if you're Joey Logano. Battle for 4th here between the youngster Kwasniewski. Interesting, Dylan Kwasniewski not old enough to have his driver's license put out here, and he gets into the back of Engelbright. Engelbright turns around.
I think right now Jim Engelbright is going to agree with Dylan Kwasniewski should not have his driver's license.
I would say so. Boy, that's a rookie and a veteran going at it there, and the rookie turns the veteran Jim Engelbright around. Here's Boris Said in the 57 car.
Yeah, Kyle Kelly in the orange number 7.
Boris Said, so much road course experience. He may end up being a factor in this race.
Here's Moses Smith in the 16 car. Had a problem. Had to actually start at the back of the pack here. He's making some nice moves. Moved up in the top 20. Here's that contact. You saw Kwasniewski get off the racetrack on the right-hand side of the racetrack, and that got him a little bit out of shape, and he ran into the back of Engelbright.
Something that easy to do. Look at the lead Gilliland now has in the race.
And David Gilliland is smart enough to know that he has to save his equipment right now.
He did not change tires. We will now, it's been documented that the only guy that changed tires was Joey Logano. Everybody else seems to be willing to run this race on the tires they started on.
See Joey Logano right there. He's running behind Luis Martinez. He's up into the top 10 now. There he is at the top of our screen, right behind the 6th car of Martinez. He's going to move to the inside in turn number 7 to get another spot.
And look at the 2 veterans, David Mayhew and Eric Holmes, right behind the rookie Kwasniewski.
And more than likely, we're going to see more caution flags, Mike. So that's going to even close the field up even more. You see Joey Logano now. Oh, Brady Flaherty into the wall in the 07 car. That's the second time he's been involved in an incident. And that does bring out a caution flag. Going to close the field up.
Hell, you were just talking about it. Our 5th caution of the day. There is Flaherty, who's a rookie, and he has not had an easy time of it here in this Infineon Raceway. Well, Flaherty, okay, he's out of the car. Been a good race so far. David Gilliland out in front. Paulie Haraka running second.